Started recording and started streaming.
Are we live? Did we do it?
Technically, probably.
Did it happen?
I'm just going to see if this
it's
is...
starting. Alright.
It's not live on Mixer, right? It's only pushing to your YouTube.
We have done it. We're live.
Correct.
I'm way out here in Pittsburgh with Andy. Just had a wheel mill session. Now I'm chilling.
I did not have a wheel mill session.
What's up, Mason? What's up, Dan? How's everybody doing? Doing good? How you doing?
I'm alright. I'm not sure that I hit post.
Oh, that's okay.
I didn't.
It's freestyle.
I mean, we put this whole thing together in effectively 11 minutes, so...
Yeah, we did. But it works, and it happened. What's up, Tyler? We got people coming in, so it happened. The whole point of this, doing this with Andy's setup, is to kind of talk about his setup, I guess, and funnel some of you guys over to check out his stuff, because he does a lot of podcast stuff with people local to Pittsburgh.
It's kind of an effective co-stream, because, like, we already talked about it. You're doing this live.
Oh, yeah, hey, we're doing it for him, too.
Yeah, we're doing this live, and then I'm also recording it, so this is one part live stream for Brant's channel, one part, like, just a co-stream of sorts, although it's not live on my channel.
Yeah.
And then the recorded result is going to be on the GrindWorks page as well, and on our podcast. So just the audio side only.
Cross promotion.
But it gives me a reason to test out my CPU and see that I can record and stream at the same time.
How's it handling it? We good?
Well, let me give you some background.
Okay.
The old setup, whenever we would sit down and do a podcast,
Yeah.
was recording at 540p.
Okay.
And it was about 25 to 30% of my CPU usage. So if I pumped that to 720,
yeah,
my computer would start missing frames and crashing.
Yeah.
We are currently streaming and recording at 1080p, and my CPU is kicking at a whole 1.1%.
Jeez, really? Wow, that's good.
Plus, when you really think about it, it's not just one 1080p stream.
No, we're doing a lot right
There's
now. 2
camera inputs.
Yep. A mic.
There's a mic input. Technically, it's taking the mic inputs from the camera. They're just muted.
Man.
So...
We are sitting across from each other. Look.
Yeah, we are. Hopefully, everyone can hear.
Yeah, how's the audio? Everybody's saying that everybody's responding and listening, so I'm assuming. What's up, Bob?
We look pretty well balanced. I might be a hair louder, but I think I talk louder than you anyway. Let me shift it just a little. I just don't want to get into the camera view.
Yeah, it's okay. Should be alright.
Right
I'm
there.
a little. Oh, Brody says I'm a little low on the audio. Hopefully that fixes it.
That should
I'm a little
fix.
Closer now.
We're even, at least on the meters,
Sweet.
so I can meter it that way.
That's good to hear, Tyler. Had an awesome Christmas jam. Is there a fan on somewhere? There is a heater in the background.
Yeah, I haven't zeroed my mic for that yet.
Oh, well, it'll warm up too. Always get now.
It's off.
Way quiet.
Just
we
for
have
you,
just officially
Tyler.
entered high quality podcast territory.
Don't say anything. Yeah, mic went to 0.
Dialed. How's everybody doing? It was a good session. I was purposely not saying anything about it so we could talk about it in the stream.
I mean, you told me some stuff.
Yeah, the skate park beat the crap out of me today. At the end. Rode for a solid, oh my gosh, 8
All right, this
hours,
is like the weakest
7
post I've
hours.
probably ever put up because I'm like super kind of on the fly with it, but
You're
whatever.
fine. I'm trying to watch this and Live PD. What's Live PD? Live Police Department?
Yeah, it's like a weird TV show that they've got stations in like a whole bunch of different counties across the U.S.
Gotcha.
Sorry to take his answer away, but we can talk about it.
Is it live?
Yeah, I mean, like very, very minimal delay. And then sometimes if they skip to something else, they'll backfill you on it.
Gotcha.
So it's effectively live.
Interesting.
But
we're way cooler than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's up, Jeff Mead? So we're in Andy's new house. He just bought a new house and made the coolest freaking setup ever. This desk is literally a U that fills the entire room. And he's got six
monitors.
6 monitors. That's insane.
It's a studio. It's a recording studio, effectively.
Ooh, you're blind.
Yeah,
man. Anyways, yeah, so we're at Andy's house. Just got done with the wheel mill session.
We're sitting within high five distance of each other.
Yes. A little background on anybody. For anyone who doesn't know who Andy is, Pittsburgh local right now. Came from where?
Just outside of Binghamton, New York.
What else has come from there? Is that like a place where a lot of stuff comes from?
Next to it is Johnson City, which a lot of people know. That was weak though. Like no one got that clap. There we go.
Sorry, headphone users.
A lot of people would know Johnson City for where FBM was housed for years and years and years. They're in Ithaca now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was East Coast Terminal there.
I just wondered because I felt like it was close to other stuff.
And then
we're in Pittsburgh.
HCS Skate Park is in Vestal, which is right outside of Binghamton as well.
Gotcha. Now he's in Pittsburgh. He co-runs, but mainly runs GrindWorks BMX.
I'll take it.
On Instagram, YouTube, does podcast, also rides his bike, also has a child, and bought a house.
You didn't see the backyard. So I've been making this joke.
What's the joke?
But it's kind of not a joke. But Ryder needs a 6-foot spine mini.
He might. He just might.
And the backyard is sufficiently sized for such a ramp. Probably a 5-foot street spine in it.
You know, I like 3-foot street spines too.
Gold. But it's a 6-foot spine mini with a 5-foot street spine in the middle of it would be pretty dialed.
Yeah. And you on your street spine game.
No, the effective reason is not me. If it was me, I'd build flat ledges and a couple banks.
Okay.
But if you grow up riding a 6-foot mini, you're not scared of anything.
You might have a good point there. You might as well make it double coping then.
I mean, Mason was telling me to make it a 7-foot.
That's a good point. He's going to have to man up and just hit it. And his name is Ryder.
But Dad wants to ride it too.
Oh, that's true. I'd be scared of his 7-foot. Chris Gold, thank you for that super chat. Hashtag tour the country fund. Hashtag RV.
I know, but that didn't come up yet.
Started the whole RV.
Oh, it was coming up. Don't you worry.
Dang it. That's why I built a 6-foot mini. Brody William from Canada, you know.
I know the name.
Yeah, he's got a bar.
I've probably looked at his Instagram page. May follow his Instagram page.
Bad for Life's YouTube. He made the Bush League videos. If you remember, he's riding farm equipment.
Yeah.
Street on a farm, basically. That's him. He's hanging out.
Hey, I have this whole podcast idea, and I haven't elaborated on it or done anything with it. But I'm convinced street is not what you're riding. It's a mindset.
Absolutely. There's no getting around that whatsoever because literally you can ride street at the skate park.
Yep, and you can ride park in the street.
Yeah.
If all you do is go do up rail flyout tricks and all you do is learn stuff at the park and then just go film it on street.
That's 100% an accurate statement. I don't have any argument for that.
I think it can be elaborated on. I have like a whole bunch of discussion points, but I want to do it with someone that has a very stiff opinion on what street is.
Yeah, well,
to be like, look at you, you're arguing about something that doesn't exist.
You're gonna need a purist to sit in this chair, which I am not totally.
Nope.
Not even slightly.
You're like a BMX pagan.
Brody, I want to go to Woodward to ride street. That's a good point. Like that's like I'm going to at some point. Somebody will probably beat me to it, but now I'm gonna say it. Make a street video from Ray's, just going around and riding like street at Ray's, doing stuff that's not really like built for that.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun.
I just posted a clip a couple weeks ago. Maybe a couple weeks ago. I don't know. My timeline's real screwed up.
Matt, you are driving right now. Put it away.
But Chase hit that hubba in the box room at the wheel mill. The, like, down kink hubba. Going towards the step down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
That's riding street.
That. Yeah. 100%. There's no...
Well, I mean, debatable. It depends on your intentions, too. Because, like, the act of riding street. I don't want to go into philosophy of BMX. I feel like that's better left to imprimatur and let them go down that road. But
freestyle, we can say whatever we want.
But I feel like a lot of it's your intention. And like, are you going out just to do this, just to show you doing it, or were you like looking for things?
Yeah. That's there's a dude in here who said he's riding street right now in Times Square.
Well, you're actually riding street.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome. It's totally true. It's totally a mindset.
Let me ask you a real question.
Okay.
Why are you watching this video if you're out riding street? Like, you got way cooler things you could be doing.
Kevin's a rad dude. He's always in here no matter what. And there's 16 people in here right now, which is pretty crazy and random for 11 p.m. on a Friday night when the biggest UFC card of 2019 is happening. Sorry, I got a little excited. I like watching those for some reason.
We can pull it up. I can cap that right monitor into this.
That's how it blows up.
Dude, I can show the video. I can show this chat feed. It's right in there.
That's funny.
I mean, I'd have to like zoom way in on it and make it weird, but I can do it.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I already hit it.
Okay, good.
I get this. Here, look.
What?
I can show the right monitor kind of in between us.
Gotcha.
I actually think I did that last time we did this, but if you recall...
It wouldn't work at all.
Yeah, I was recording it. The entire screen was 540p.
Yeah.
And then I tried to zoom in and compress that little thing down, so it was probably like 120.
Very bad.
On that screen.
Come riding street in New York. Bro, I would if I could, but I can't, so I'm not going to. But yeah, I appreciate everybody hanging out.
I could ride street in the backyard right now.
That'd be funny. I may have potentially done an NBD, but I'm only saying that because I want to talk about it.
Okay.
I was trying up rail bar.
I'm going to say, how many of those do you have?
What?
NBDs.
I mean, that's literally impossible to tell. It could be 0.
It could be 0.
It genuinely could be 0.
But it could be in the, like, multiple digits, 2 or 3 digits.
It's possible. I mean, I think everyone... It depends on how loose you want to be with the term NBD. Because you could be super loose and be like, no one's ever done a fufanu on that exact spot of the coping at this skate park. Or you could be like, well, no one's ever done, like, a turn down over that gap, which is, like, technically, I guess that would fit perfectly in,
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on how loose you want to be, or it could be a totally new trick that no one's ever done before, period.
Yeah. My buddy Andy he was doing like a concept art video a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he ever did anything with it besides like just a little project for himself.
Yeah.
But he's a skater. He would go and his goal would be like do even the simplest of tricks, but you record it 20 times.
Yeah.
And it shows you how different the exact same trick can be.
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit of insight into like how quickly you get better at doing something, because even if you've done it before, like let's just say I'm gonna smith down this ledge, right? Your first run up, you're probably going a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Maybe clunky landing, and by the 20th one, you're like, good speed, super stylish, maybe overstretched or whatever.
Yeah, I notice that so much when I'm just filming. Like I'm attempting to put multiple things together, to where like things just get better. So if I'm trying like a 5-tap combo, 5 taps just get better. So I end up doing more than one 5-tap combo. The whole point of saying the NBD thing. Did I tell you already what I did?
You were talking about up rail bar,
and then bars were beating the crap out of me today. So I like kept wrecking. I was like, I need to leave because this was the last thing I was doing. And then I wrecked one last time. I was like, I need to leave, but I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna make it harder, but it'll probably work. Came back around, up rail, bar, no lander, first try. Like, okay, it's over.
That's pretty sweet.
Oh,
I'm gonna say that
it's been done, but
that based on the discussion we just had moments ago, that's never been done on that rail in that park.
That's true. I would guess that.
And I think typically when you're talking about people doing MBD, ABD, it's about the spot more than the trick most of the time.
Oh, that's
like the weird argument
because you can't make up tricks every single there's only so many tricks. It's hard to make things up right now.
Especially when you go back and watch like all the old S&M videos where it's like top tube grab, stem grab, crossbar grab, down tube grab, seat grab, rear like backside of the seat grab, and it's like, how many different weird things did you do just because you could?
Yeah, well, and
that's cool, but
it's probably at a point in time where everyone was doing like everything you could because everything was new. Also, side note, I might be in Pittsburgh right now, but the jug still lives on.
The jug. Oh, speaking of water and cups and stuff, it does not do this every time we use it, but this is called the Dolphin Cup.
Why?
I didn't need to answer that question, did I?
No, you didn't. Imagine if we treated skate parks that way. Brant already 360 that box jump and raise. No one can do that anymore. It would literally ruin BMX.
It would, and that's where like
that's
the whole ABD MBD falls apart when you start looking at it like that. Especially take something, I don't want to use El Toro because I just don't really care for it.
Brought up El Toro too.
But let's take like your average town's 4-stair rail, like everyone's first rail when they live in that town, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you double pegged it. Someone else double pegged it. Like everyone's learned double pegs on this. It doesn't discredit the ability of someone to learn a trick on that spot. It doesn't make it not worth doing. I understand at some point maybe something is like, okay, well, you don't need to do that now.
Yeah.
But I also, like, I find myself as we move forward on just riding in general, I tend to not do stuff just for the sake of doing anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, if I don't have a vested interest in landing a certain trick, I'm not even going to bother. I don't need to hit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to pegs an 8-stair rail just because it's there.
Right.
Like, I know I can hop on that rail and double peg it.
Right. And on all of that note, literally, it could be argued that the NBD AB thing ruined street BMX for a lot of people, or ruins it for a lot of people on a daily basis.
I think it pairs well with the other discussion about riding street as a mindset, not necessarily an action, and that like if you go train at the skate park just to film something riding street, I think it pairs well with that. Like you're learning stuff just to go do never been done stuff.
And we're also talking about like the highest level possible here too. I think that it's like completely different whenever it's like Dennis Enerson going and bar spinning the biggest gap that anyone's ever seen before, for the sake of doing the biggest bar spin down a gap no one's ever seen before. I think there's a difference between that and just random kids at the skate park or riding street who are like, oh no, I can't do that because someone else did that. There's a big...
Well, and there's the one-up thing. Like, do you listen to Enerson's podcast at all?
Yeah.
See, did you listen to the Dan Lacey one?
Yeah.
About Courage trucking the gap that Dan threed a while ago?
Like, existence of BMX riders who's like, oh, you're not allowed to do this unless you hit me up first or you say something afterwards or it's disrespectful. Get the fuck out of here. Like, why does it have to be that way?
Well,
just let people ride their bikes.
I get in that particular instance, there was stuff about, like, his close friends told him to do that.
Oh, well, I guess intention matters. Context and intention matters.
Kept it secret from him until the video dropped. So it's like, you're kind of like, why did my friends play me like that?
Yeah.
Is
context
and
that intention do matter. We got to make that clear.
But, yeah, I mean, that you would think that you would want to see that.
I know, exactly.
Like, the progression of BMX.
Exactly.
Now, let's be real here. Why truck it after it was threed when you could do a different trick down it? You could have whipped it and not been, like, just taking it, you know? It's like the truck, to some degree, and I don't fully agree with what I'm going to say right now, but takes away from the three that Dan did. Because now, like, you're never going to look at it and go, oh, so-and-so whipped it, so-and-so did this down it, and Courage trucked it, and Lacey threed it, because they're so close that the three doesn't matter.
I literally just
but I don't
even care enough to, like, it's whatever at that point. It's like, I guess I get it in that, in the world of, you have to care. On that side of BMX, I get why you might care, but it's still like, dude, why does the whole industry, like, care so much? I mean, I guess they just don't want to put out the exact same trick that someone else did in their web video that's only going to get 5,000 to 10,000 views before everyone forgets about it anyways. It's like,
but again, does it really matter?
In the grand scheme of things, when you're 50 years old, it's not going to matter. That's kind of like how I like to judge whether or not I'm mad about, like, really actually mad about certain things. Is like, is this going to matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, then you might want to reevaluate how mad you actually are.
Yeah, well, and take that, someone brought it up, so let's talk El Toro for a second.
What about it?
If that same situation was on El Toro, does it matter?
It happened already.
Hold
on, that happened.
No, it's expected.
But it happened.
It's expected that someone's going to one up whatever you're doing.
Who threed it? Who's threed El Toro? Somebody, right? Somebody's threed it.
Yeah, I think so.
They have to. Well, guess what? Guess what? Stevie Churchill trucked it.
Mm-hmm.
Where's everybody all super mad at?
And Rory Ellis barred it before that.
So what's Hoder threed it? Okay.
I wanted to say that, but I also didn't want to
too.
sound like a moron just guessing at it.
Exactly. And that's like the whole thing is like, you made a really good point. Why do so many people care so much about the Dan Lacey, is it Courage?
Mm-hmm.
Dan and Courage, but nobody cared. Maybe people did care and I just didn't pay attention to it.
Or like bar down El Toro.
Yeah.
If someone goes and bars, or straight double bars, I'd prefer to see that.
That'd be nuts.
But if someone does that, then I don't know. It just seems real weird to me.
Yeah.
Like it's fully expected to see something like that.
I'm gonna end it with intent and context matters. If you go somewhere intentionally with someone else's thing in mind to do it and like do it better, and your intent is bad, and the context of the entire situation is just bad, then yeah, you're just a dick. But if you go somewhere and you like accidentally do the same trick as somebody and then put it into your video, and then they get mad about it, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I did not know people cared about this stuff. I feel like the only people that really care are the people at the highest level.
I think it's high level, and maybe we just don't get it. I think we could chalk it up to that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not getting a paycheck based on tricks that I stole from someone else or spots I stole from someone else, but
no, sure as hell I ain't getting paid check for tricks I stole from anyone else. I'm not getting a paycheck, period. Chris Gold did another super chat and said all my riding is ABD.
Good.
It's another aspect that these people who get upset about it probably don't think about, is that there's a lot of riders who every single thing they do, every single place they do it, is something that someone else has done before, which is okay.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Right. I get that people want to do something new, and you don't want to put like stuff people have already seen before in videos. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of pairing well with this conversation is when you go like to a new town and your homie that lives nearby or something's like, yo, I'll show you around. Like, I hate the spot tour where someone takes you spot to spot and says, oh, this spot's cool. So-and-so did this, and this here.
Depends on how cool the tricks are that they say.
Well,
because it's cool to imagine certain things.
If you're there to point it out, be like, dude, do you recognize this? Like, so-and-so did this here. It's cool.
Yeah.
But now, when you like go to a city and whoever you're riding with takes you to every local spot, tells you everything that's been done there, and then when you're like, well, I kind of want to just do this right here, and they're like, no, don't do that. That's ABD. They're like, well, I still want to do it.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a fun, cool trick to do.
It all boils down to who freaking cares.
Who cares?
That should be a new company. Who cares? It could be the SpongeBob, like, who cares? It's one of those things. I totally forgot. Somebody asked a really long time ago what the specs of your computer are. It was Bob. I'm sorry, Bob.
GeForce 2070 graphics card. And
is it a 9700K?
i7 9700K.
Those are the main things to worry about. You got 32 gigs of RAM.
I think only 16.
Oh, it's doing good.
It's all on solid state drive too.
That makes a difference.
I don't know if it's SATA port solid state or
with what
NVMe or whatever it is. I think it's NVMe, but I don't know. It's pretty stock. I didn't build the computer custom. I just bought it stock.
Yeah. It's kicking butt right now, that's for sure. It's not even making noise.
No, she's sitting pretty.
Yeah. That's awesome. My area just gets so hot when I stream because I got a green screen behind me, which is literally just cloth. It's holding in the heat from the lamp, and then my area is like L-desk.
So even right now, like we shut that heater off.
Yeah.
But this is not a small room. That heater kicked it up in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And now just sitting in here, I feel like I want to crack that window a hair.
That's funny.
But
oh, man.
It's not nearly as bad as... You remember how bad my apartment was. You were sitting in there, and it was like 99 degrees. It might have been triple digits when we were sitting in there recording our podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was warm. New AMD 64 core can shoot through 8K 24p without GPU help. Brody's talking about his new computer, I bet, because he's always got the craziest stuff. He films all his stuff with a red.
That's awesome.
It's pretty nuts. He's just like, That's his thing. So like, your thing is filming your riding and filming stuff. You're gonna get what you can.
Yeah.
And it's sweet.
I'm very excited to put this thing through some video editing.
It'll be good.
Even as simple as putting a podcast together.
Yeah.
The old one, it would take it, I think, 8 to 9 hours to spit out like a 2-hour
Man, that's crazy.
video.
It's gonna be good. That's the exact same processor that I use at Ventrac when I'm editing. But the computer I have there that they just got me has a 2060, and it's got 32 gigs of RAM.
Mm-hmm.
It does really well with video. It's pretty fast. Brant forgot to shout out to Park Tools on your cap. No, I didn't. Look, shout out to Park Tool. It just didn't happen yet.
I mean, the logo being visible is a shout out enough.
This is true. This is very true. This is why I have it.
That's why shout out to myself being on my shirt. I had to.
Let's just talk about shirts, you know. Shout out to Park Tool again.
Yeah.
Brody's like, nah, I just got a 16 core right now. That's still good. I don't have the pizza cutter. I probably should get that.
I have it.
Cutting pizza. You got it? Nice. It'd make cutting pizza a lot easier than using a literal, like, meat cleaver.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing.
I actually don't use the Park Tool pizza cutter, but I have the Park Tool pizza cutter. We have some stock, like, dollar something or other pizza cutters.
Is your group chat talking about our stream?
Dude, I have no idea what the heck's even going on here.
They're going nuts.
No, all right. So I'm in 2 like New York group chats on Instagram. One of them is called Video Games, not video games. Video Games.
Video games. Yep.
That is about riding. And then there's another one called what's the other one called? Hang on. Vagina Deterrent.
Oh.
And that one's about video games.
Tight. Somebody asked for thoughts on the BMX scene in the UK and on UK riders. Thanks. My personal thoughts is that they have a lot of indoor skate parks. Like a lot. I don't know why. I don't know if it's something to do with the government helping them at all or something along those lines.
I think it's the fact that it's cold for a larger portion of the year and rainy all the time.
Which makes sense. When it comes to the riders, it seems like there's a lot more, obviously, park type riders, tech guys. There's a lot of amazing tech, like lip trick guys in the UK. There's also some jumpers. They train more than USA riders. My local scene is more street. I mean, so it's hard to say without living there, really.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my comment is, like, I don't think we can have an opinion or real view on it other than, like...
what you see.
It's sick.
I'm sure it's awesome. I have there's like a 40 something year old guy from the UK. His name's Alan Sidley. This dude is so freaking rad. Like, his posts, you'll never know what he's going to post. Whether it's him blasting a 6-foot quarter like 7 feet out of it, or him doing 5-tap variations where he's doing 5-tap no-footers and 5-tap X-ups and all kinds of crazy stuff. And the dude can, like, it seems like he can do whatever. And he's like 40-something. Can you imagine being 40 years old and being able to blast like a 6-foot quarter 6 or 7 feet out of it or higher?
I've never aired that high on a quarter,
dude. Like,
no, I've probably maybe been close to that, but that's like capped.
Dude, that's high.
I know I've pushed probably the 5.5 mark on a couple of times, but like,
can you imagine being like 10 years older than what you are now and being able to do that still?
I don't see it being an issue. Like,
it's just crazy, like how cool it would be. I'm not saying like it's just awesome. Like,
I'm thinking more, so we can talk about that too. I am past like the point of almost learning new tricks at this point, and not that I really am, but I am like with how much I'm not on my bike, working, just being here with Rachel and Ryder, getting this house prepped. Like I've ridden 6 times in the last like 4 months.
Yeah. And all of them were for the game of bike.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything at this point feels like it's maintaining. Like if I don't lose tricks, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, but you're gonna get to a point where like everything's like settled down a little bit to where you're gonna be back, like getting back to it.
Well, and once we build that 6-foot spine mini for Ryder in the spring,
I'm gonna be surprised if that actually happens, but not surprised at the same time.
It's really gonna be how much can I afford to do at that point.
Yeah, that's a big ramp like that is expensive.
Heck yeah. When you're talking, because you're not building a 6-foot mini that's not at least like 24, 30 feet wide.
Yeah, right. Brody's like, for Ryder.
It's definitely for Ryder.
It's so he can be mega pro one day.
It's definitely not for me.
It's just to get me to come to Pittsburgh.
How many of you guys have ever seen me ride a 6-foot spine mini?
I would love to see that. I would genuinely love to ride a 6-foot spine mini with you.
Because even the one, I think the one at the Newark Valley Park is only a 5.
Yeah.
Not that you've ever been there.
Yeah, I have no idea where you're even talking about.
It's Newark Valley, New York.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Nike Banks Giving Park that they were going to build a mini ramp for someone in their backyard.
Uh-huh.
It was an essay contest, and the local dude wrote it about like his friend that died in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And he was deployed, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want it. I just want it for my community. So they built a whole like little park.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because all the space was dedicated already. Like the plot of land was there, and the town was okay with it, but they didn't have the money for a park.
Yeah.
But then it kind of got hairy, and they weren't going to do it, and they were trying to pull out, and Kelly Baker threw a fit. It's all on the come up. Like, if you went through old comments and stuff, Kelly Baker made that park happen for them.
That's cool. What's up, CX? Yes, Jacob. A mini ramp is basically a half pipe. We got 20 whole people in here for a completely random stream, almost midnight on Friday. That's awesome.
How many of them are half drunk on a Friday night at almost midnight?
You guys pausing from watching UFC? That's funny.
Half drunk might not be the right.
No, but for real though, last time we talked about houses. You've been in here for a few months. How you liking it?
I like it. It's like you never realize how annoying it is to live in an apartment complex until you don't anymore.
Yeah.
Like especially when we first moved in there. We were there for 5 years.
Yeah.
We were over it.
Oh, I bet.
But like we moved in kind of short-term intentions, didn't really know what we were getting into. Then we've shopped for houses on and off for a while, but like the apartment had a whole bunch of different little changes over time.
Yeah.
And it just made things more and more annoying over time.
Makes sense.
And it was to the point like they got rid of our intercom systems.
Yeah.
So I know I've talked about this on my podcast before, but I don't think we've talked about it on your show at all. They got rid of the intercom system and replaced it with like a system that calls a phone.
Oh, I experienced that system.
Which at first doesn't seem that bad. You're like, all right, well, that's cool. Like I don't have to get up off the couch or whatever to let someone in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until Rachel is in New York. It's set to her phone because she was home more often. And I wanted to order a pizza. Now I have to call my wife and ask permission to order a pizza to be delivered because she has to be available to answer the phone in roughly 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Or else they can't get in the building.
Right. Yeah, that's annoying. Someone said, build a 14.5-foot tall vert ramp and blast big air.
I don't have room for that.
You can go up.
Yeah, but you gotta have more flat bottom. Oh, have to is the wrong word. You're right.
Just make it perfect like a U.
Yeah, but I'm doing 4-foot walls too. 4-foot trannies. So that's 10 feet of vert. It's just like a giant vert wall cap.
That's funny.
But it's
basically a bridge.
Build it fully bowled out so it's like a wall of death that you have tranny to get up into and start ripping around it.
Oh yeah, there you go. That'd be tight. Yeah. No thanks on the vert. I wouldn't even, like, if I was in your position, I wouldn't even want, if he got into riding, I would not even want him to want to ride vert. Because that's just asking for, like, problems.
He can ride whatever he wants as long as it's not a scooter.
No hate. No shame. No hate.
Yeah, a little bit. No, I don't actually.
No for me.
Alright. I have to talk about this because I had the whole fuck scooters stickers and everything for GrindWorks. And
it's like real.
It's a joke that got out of hand, but it's a joke that had some meaning.
Yeah.
On the side note, though, it's a lot of work to pretend to care about something and to pretend to hate something.
I bet.
But anyway, that was about little kids at the park, but you can't have a sticker that says fuck little kids.
Yeah.
That's a whole different demographic of people, and I don't want them around.
Wait, you mean you don't want that kind of attention?
No.
You don't want to make that sticker? I'm not even going to say it. Someone would sound like me saying that. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But then it goes into the hands. You already know. We don't even need to get into
here's
that.
what I hate about it, right? Is as bike riders, we've all been like, we've all felt that side of like Thrasher and the skateboarding hate towards bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we want to promote something like that?
Because it's cool. Are you kidding me? That's why we hated vlogs. And that's why at one point people hated turn downs, I guess.
I still think turn downs look stupid. They're fun to do.
Well, it's the same thing. It's like BMX needs that one thing to hate on at any point in time for some reason.
I wouldn't hate on it, per se. But yeah, I know what you're saying. But no, as far as turn downs go, like, I always just try to envision it from like,
you can
does it look cool to do for other people? Like if you're a random person standing by and you see a tail whip, it looks cool. A bar spin looks kind of cool. An X up, there's like a lot of dynamic motion going on.
Yeah.
There's something like noticeable. A turn down effectively is like, meh.
I guess.
No, not like a Doyle turn down. A Doyle turn down is something of magnificence and should be respected at all times.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk down on the turn down being in Pittsburgh. It's also something that I guess you really can't appreciate it unless you're a rider who's tried them, because it's so many different motions and movements happening all at one time. You can do them, you know.
Yeah, I like doing them.
This guy does
fun.
good turn downs.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, my my tire gets parallel with the frame. It never goes past.
I don't care. You're still good. Brant, this needs to be discussed. Why do bikes get kicked out of parks but scooters don't? Their metal decks cause more damage.
Truth.
The main reason BMX is not allowed in skate parks is because the companies that build those skate parks write it into their warranty that if BMX is allowed in the park and BMX riders ride that park, that it like affects the warranty or voids the warranty. And that's like a lot of the reasoning behind it. So immediately like that makes the city officials and the people who have to, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The people who
maintain,
enforce the rules. The people who enforce those rules, it makes them immediately just think that BMX is bad because it's not like they write in that warranty. Maybe they do actually. I don't know. It's not like they write in there like you can't have BMX in this skate park because we don't like it, and if you do,
well, but that's the underlying is like because that's not the answer. That's how it is now. But why did that start? Is not. It's because skateboarders didn't like bikes and feel like we pulled our weight to get there.
Yeah. So it's like and that in turn just immediately like just the fact that you're not allowed to have BMX somewhere makes people who have to enforce that rule and kick people out think that it's bad. And now you just got people who are like, yeah, I know you're not hurting anything, but I'm just doing my job. Kicking you out of this prefab skate park even. There's even prefab parks that have that. It's like, those things last forever.
Now, there's another side to that you're not bringing up. That a lot of the time, it's not the park manufacturer, it's the insurance carrier.
Oh, someone actually said that.
So you have to account for speed. And that's where it typically comes in, is that people are riding faster than people skate.
I just want to bang my head off this desk right now.
But then you get people like me and like, I don't go fast.
You can kill yourself falling from this high off of the ground with no speed. What's the difference between what you're on and how fast you're going?
When it comes right down to it, if you actually understand what's going on, nothing.
Yeah.
But again, we're talking about like it's almost the same discussion as how does a turn down look to an outsider. Someone that doesn't know anything about riding, but only plays in legal land and liabilities.
Yeah.
Will look at someone riding a bike in a skate park and someone skateboarding in a skate park and go, these should not coexist together.
Well, someone actually just said, Tyler Richardson said, the town I live in says their insurance considers bikes a mode of transportation, not recreational. What do you mean? I would argue that there's certain aspects of driving a car that are recreational and modes of transportation at the same time. Every skateboard's a mode of transportation. You ever go to a city? You ever seen a longboard? That's a skateboard. Mm-hmm. Scooters, mode of transportation. That was how I got around from my apartment to college.
Let me ask you something about your town then. Does your town require you to register your bicycles?
Is that a real thing some places? I feel like that is.
It's a mode of transportation.
Ugh, this is all stupid.
Most places don't do that.
Yeah.
A lot of places have like brought it up and then it got nixed.
Those places that have it make you pay for parking all the time.
Well, it's not like a car where, like, if you register a vehicle, not everyone, a lot of people are going to have that vehicle for 5+ years, something like that.
Right.
And pretty much no matter what you do to it, a Honda Civic is still a Honda Civic.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, my bike, your bike, that effectively, I would say, changes once every 3 months.
Okay.
And whether that's, like, your bars are different. Your fork is different. You had to change your crankset. I'm kind of disregarding things like pegs, seats, pedals, like the grips, things that change all the time. So I would, I guess, put stem in that category, even though you don't change it that much, but it's like not really a primary component. But how often would you have to be updating your registration for a bicycle to account for that? Now, when they talk about registering bicycles in cities, it's primarily commuters. And it would be like your guy that bought a Raleigh and rides it around all day.
And it's probably not.
And it's
so
never
much
not gonna change stuff on it.
that, and it's probably not so much for what the bike is. It's probably more to account for the single bike by this single person, regardless of what the bike is.
Mm-hmm.
And how it's money. It's literally
it's money.
It's how they make money. That's why they charge parking on the weekends too.
But yeah, basically, like anytime I've ever seen it come up, it becomes so impractical so quick because anyone that does high level bicycle riding knows that it's every 3 months, if not more often.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's major changes. Road bike guys, like if they're not replacing stuff with all that carbon fiber, you think that that thing's safe to ride?
Yeah. Let's talk about happy things. I'm getting taxed for riding a bike.
How about Dolphin Cup?
Send it. That's funny.
That thing's so good.
Right.
It's hilarious when I take it to work.
Oh my goodness. I need a drink.
I need to go blow my nose. I've been sick for 20-something days. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I'm on antibiotics.
I didn't know. You didn't get me sick. How's everybody doing? There's still 18 people in here. I appreciate all of you.
We're just going to go high class and bring the toilet paper right to the live stream.
Yo, there you go. Now there's 19. I appreciate that one extra person too. Oh, let's see. So, where can we go? I rode with Max today.
Yeah?
He had no chain.
Never does.
He's still probably the most dialed BMX rider anywhere near here. It's amazing the skill that kid has on a bike. Like, he can just do it. It's nuts.
Yep. Yeah, nothing matters.
No, he's just really good.
However, if you run without a chain, is it not a scooter?
Who cares? He was... Dude, I was like, have you done forward crank flips yet? And he just goes and does one. I was like, you're too good.
He is really, really good.
Yeah, someone offered him a chain while we were there. And I'm like, don't do that. He's already good enough. We don't need to give him an advantage.
He probably just took it off just to ride.
Well, he was like actually using it without like using it too. And I was like, dude, you're so good. He was, thanks for hanging out, Tyler. He was trying to 5-tap the gray box. He was trying to 5-tap this box. And he like messed up and he's like, oh, I can't do those. Very next attempt, almost does a 7-tap to fakie. Like, you're ridiculous. Like, some people are just meant to ride a bike.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everyone who's watching this has somebody in their scene who's just meant to ride a bike.
Well, that's what's actually... that's like a cool thing to talk about because that is really hilarious when you start looking at... Like, everyone has someone they know that is just, like, ungodly good.
Sponge.
But every single town has at least one of those dudes in it.
Yeah.
If not multiple. And if you take all of them together, like, collectively, some of them suck. If you really took it and put them only compared to each other.
I'll still put it out there. Sponge is the best ever, anywhere. Period. Mm-hmm. Just because some of the stuff he's done.
I don't ride with Sponge enough to know. I don't know if I've ever actually ridden with Sponge. Manual. I know. I've brought that up so many times.
Overtooth on a gigantic.
Everyone that plays BMX Streets pipe can thank Sponge for being able to do X-Up nose manuals because...
Oh, you requested it.
I did request it.
That is funny.
In their Discord channel, when they introduced the X-Up manuals,
yeah,
I was like, what about X-Up nose manual? And someone said in there, no one can do X-Up nose manuals. So I had to hunt for that video.
ABD like 5 years ago.
And put it in there.
That's funny.
And then, like, months later after they were in there,
yeah,
someone else was like, how come you can do X up nose manuals in this game? That's not realistic. And then someone else put the sponge video in there. So I don't know who it was on that one, but yeah.
That was cool.
Perfect.
That was a really cool one too. That wasn't even like he did multiple other ones before that one and just did it better.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always talk him up. Seriously. He's just one of those people, it's like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. The dude plays games of bike against himself.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that, but you kind of have to change the rules, don't you?
No, he like gives himself a line, and he's got to do like all of the tricks in the line, or he gets a letter, or if he pulls it, the other guy gets a letter, and then he's just playing against himself.
Okay, I see what his mechanics for that are. It's more similar to the game. Like, we play a different variation of bike occasionally here, and I call it bike still, but it's more like you mutually agree on a trick.
Yeah.
That should be like right here, like.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where you normally ride. That trick's right here, just the tiniest bit up. But it's hard to find like enough middle ground tricks like that for most people.
Yeah. Are you talking for both people?
Yeah. So we're both working at the same trick.
Yeah.
And let's just say, for example, even the simple one might be feeble hard. Now, maybe we're going to struggle with that. Maybe one of us is going to pull it first try.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, if the trick gets pulled first try and we're playing that game, it just goes away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we just choose something else.
It'd be a fun game.
But it's the first person to get it gets the letter, so you want the letter.
Oh, yeah, you're adding up.
But you get your redemption. So, like, if we go back and forth, trick for trick for trick, 10, 15 tries,
and
then I pull it
again.
If you pull it right after me,
that's the same, yeah.
Then I have to get it again, or you get that letter.
Oh, that's cool.
So it can shift to a game of consistency as well.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of fun. So you can set it with basic tricks, and it's just, how many times in a row can I pull this trick?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that concept.
It's a fun one. You should try it out sometime.
Yeah, I will.
Maybe you and Sponge or something could play that way.
Make a video. Dude. There's quite a lot of tricks that overlap with us, but there's also a lot of stuff that completely just because he's all in the toothpicks, I'm in the ice picks, and then like I'll do a lot of random jumping tricks like saran wraps and that kind of stuff, and he'll do a lot more bar spins than I will. He'll do nothings. So, like, there's a lot that overlaps, but then there's a lot in every single category that doesn't. Are they talking about us?
Yeah, I got a text message from Rachel a few minutes ago that said "stupid cup."
She could hear that.
Our bedroom's right here.
Oh, that's funny.
If you blow in the dolphin, it doesn't make the noise. As weird as that might sound,
that just sounds wrong.
But I'll prove it.
Matt from Buffalo said that Buffalo isn't like most scenes. We don't have that one dude that can do everything. We have everyone that can do all different things. Which makes sense when you think about Buffalo. I can't think of a single person from Buffalo who does it all.
Well, yeah, but even most of the people we were talking about, it's not that they can do it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the best, like the guy who can do anything.
It's just like, I'll give you a couple, like Cam Gervin from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Just whatever you throw in front of him, he will do it. It does not matter. He will land that trick.
Right.
And it's effectively feels like it's with no effort.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that he learned the trick. He just started doing the trick.
Yeah.
Davey Osgood from Syracuse.
I don't know.
Alex
I know who you're
Capilongo
talking
from
about.
Ithaca.
Davey was at the Buffalo Jam.
Yeah,
and
Dewdrop
that
Drizzle.
Dude is amazing. Seriously, he is the sponge of that area.
Yeah.
That guy did a rail ride to bar to manual to rail ride to bar. It was insane. And I'm talking like a 20-foot long down rail that's mellow. Barred off of that, and then landed in, then hopped onto another rail that was like 15-foot long, rode that, and barred off of it. I'm like, dude, you're nuts.
Mm-hmm. He's insane. He's got amazing like G-turn skills, super slow. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram.
I do, but I don't remember seeing stuff.
He's just so good. I'm trying to think of a few other really good examples that people may or may not recognize, but it's always very like scene specific and kind of clicky.
Right. I'm trying to think of other
Who's your
Zoo out one. Here? People will have no idea who Zoo is. Sam is in here.
I feel like Zoo is really good, but I think Zoo has to work for it.
He does, but he's still like amazing.
Yeah.
The best. He might not just go instantly like do the thing, but he will be able to do it.
Yeah.
It'll take him a few tries, but he'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think it's the same as like the Cam Gervin, Davey Osgood, Alex Capilongo, who probably none of you know. Alex, yeah. I highly doubt.
He will probably know Cam just because he's been.
Anyone that used to go to East Shore Skate Park in Ithaca or outside of Ithaca would know Alex, because he like when we met him, he was a skateboarder and he was a really good skateboarder, and then he was like, I want to start bike riding, and you know what he warmed up with? Nollie bars over the hip, because why not? I'm real good at anything I touch.
Yeah. Funny. I'm trying to think of other people that are like that. It's usually like the unknown guys that you don't really.
Alex will do like hop whips in his living room just because he wants to ride his bike.
Alex Liebrock. He's kind of like that. Freaking Zach Gerber is 100% like that. Well, I think that's probably for him more because he's just ridden in every single style of era and just been like high level.
But again, I don't. I think we're like on the same page, but I don't think it's necessarily that like natural talent. Like I think Gerber, while very good, I think Gerber has to work for a lot of the things he does.
Oh, he absolutely works for him.
It's
partly because it's the gnarliest stuff.
Because a lot of these dudes that I'm thinking of too, like that supernatural talent where they get so good so
like
quick.
First try type.
Yeah, the dudes that get so good so quick.
Yeah. With
that 100%, like you can tell them to do something and they can just already do it. There's no learning.
Yeah.
And then
you're right.
They get bored of it and they quit for a little while. Yeah. Some of them come back, some of them never do.
Yeah, I've strayed away from that. Zach definitely works for everything.
And Zoo too, I think. That's where I was like, I'm not sure that Zoo fits the mold.
Well, Zoo though can do so much that he's already to the point where you're like, yeah, do this trick, and then he'll just already be able to do it.
Yeah, but he learned it 20 years ago.
Oh, still, it applies.
Yeah.
You know, Sponge is the same way.
Yeah.
Because Sponge has done so many different things, and every time he's at the park, he's like working on maintaining and learning stuff at the same time.
I'm trying to think who your Cleveland person is that's like a good fit for this.
I don't know if there is one. Hollywood Hollywood works for it too much. Like a first try magical type of person.
Gage maybe?
Gage is really good, but he works for it too. He's not like the.
It's like hard to tell sometimes.
I don't know if there is one in Cleveland, honestly. Thinking about it now, there probably is, and I'm just not considering it or thinking of it. Because like the people that come to mind, like Nick Bruce, he works for anything that's outside of his like realm of the insane stuff that he does.
Well, they're also at the higher level too. Like,
yeah,
like you kind of once you hit that point, I think you kind of have to drift away from the heart of the conversation too. And I feel like we're kind of lost in the weeds on nothing and arguing that we agree with each other.
Well, we're not arguing.
But
we're just trying to think of people.
Like, I'm trying to think how to best frame that because, like, Nick Bruce is doing things that are near impossible.
Yeah.
And maybe he did come up in the same, like, working for it, have to make everything happen.
Yeah.
But he might have come up as the kid that could have done everything. Just already knew it and could do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's what I don't know. You don't know that unless you see it.
Someone asked if Hamilton was from Cleveland. He was from Westerville near Columbus, but he's one of those kind of people who could just kind of do stuff. But that's Columbus. We're trying to think of Cleveland's example, and I just don't know if there is one. There has to be. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm sure someone knows someone pretty much everywhere that, like, the dude is just good.
Nick Bonner. I don't know if he's from Cleveland, but Nick Bonner is the dude who could do anything. That guy. I'm just going to say Nick Bonner because I've only ever ridden, like in person, I've only ever ridden with him in Cleveland. Mason, I'm 26. Yeah, Nick Bonner. Everything he'd do the craziest stuff and it would just be effortless first try. Like, nuts.
Yeah, and
Gym shorts.
You can kind of tell, because here's the follow-up to that point, too. Like, anytime Cam does something, if he were to, like, 720 whip the spine at the wheel mill, everyone would just go, yeah, time to throw a bar in there, dude.
Because they just...
Like, the hype isn't going to be there for that.
That's funny.
Because you're just like, you could have done more.
That's funny. Dude, I feel like that, like, all the time. I did, like, because I feel like just people are just like, eh. But I think that's just a general mentality when people are riding, like, and it's not certain people together. I don't want to talk about any more negative, though.
All right. Let's talk about positives.
Are sweet.
Are they?
Yes. Someone pointed out to me on the foot jam or crank flip to foot jam I just posted. They said that it was cool how I kicked it with the foot and caught it with the same foot, essentially, because the other foot was just not even on at that point. And I kind of want to try that over a jump. Take my left foot off after I spin the cranks a little bit and then kick it and catch
I'm going to say, no one's going to agree with this when they watch one of mine. Oh, I do that every single time.
Well, yeah.
But everyone says I back foot crank
flip. But it's not pronounced.
Right.
I'm talking like I want to stick my foot out there and crank flip call it like a kickstart. I'm going to call it a kickstart. You don't do that.
Wait, hang on. No, I don't. I catch with my back foot. So it actually does look like I do that, but I don't.
Gotcha. Either way, I think it would be really cool. Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
What else? What's the first trick you're gonna do next time you ride?
Feeble grind.
Tight. I did a couple feeble grinds today. They were fun.
I had a trick request for Max, and he didn't do it, I don't think.
What was it?
Well, he had a trick request thing on his Instagram.
I heard him listing stuff.
I requested one-handed feeble grind to 1 footer out.
Interesting. You gotta grab it, then kick it.
Do you? Or do you pull off and put it back on as you kick?
I don't know. Who cares? If he does it, it'd be cool.
Yeah. Maybe I need to do that.
He did do a bar spin up the ledge thing, just effortlessly. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he half cabs up that thing all the time.
He
too.
tried that. Man, a pendulum would look cooler. who's doing those anymore. There's some people who's doing those. Somebody's doing them. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's another trick that Sponge can just do. I can't think. I've tried it. It's so hard to opposite no foot can't.
Yeah, they're real weird.
It is weird. I think I might already do them wrong. And still, like, which way are you technically supposed to do it?
Like, I always do them towards my back foot because you, like, on a regular can, you would take your front foot off and put it over.
Is that like what is supposed to be easiest?
Yeah, because if you take your back foot off and try to put it over, your front foot's really close to the bars, so you don't have room to go in.
And taking your back foot over means you have to go around or over your seat. Where if you take your front foot and put it over, you're just going around it. Yeah, I do no foot cans the wrong way. I do them all opposite. But I still can't do the other way. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it is 12:14 and I have a 2.5-hour drive.
You don't have to.
I know I don't have to, but I got Christmas stuff tomorrow. I don't know what time my Christmas stuff is, so I'd rather just drive home and sleep.
Yeah, I understand.
Let's take one question from the chat before we jump out of here. We'll pick one from everybody's random. You ever notice that when you're with people and someone takes a drink, you take a drink? You're going to now for the rest of your life. You're welcome.
Yeah, maybe.
It happens.
Oh, I was gonna say I actually like I've noticed it before, but I like to do that to people.
Oh yeah. That's a
to do like the chain reaction because now you took a drink because I took a drink. And if I take another one, you're gonna be like,
yeah. Because sometimes I catch myself and I think about it. I'm like, nope, I'm not taking one yet.
Yeah, but then you really, really want it.
I'm not feeling it. I need to save some for my trip.
We can refill you, you know.
How high starts to scare you? That's an interesting question. That's personal.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about bikes.
Of course, we're talking about
in the
bikes.
air. Any certain.
Well, all right.
How high does it take you before you start to get nervous? Anytime.
All right, but this is total context, right? Because if you're riding,
let's not make it nuanced and
if we're doing bunny hops.
Yeah, well, obviously you don't get scared bunny hopping.
No, that's not true. If you're hopping over something, let's say a chain.
That's not height. It's not. Let's just be basic.
Yes, it is.
You're too nuanced, and you make everything so nuanced.
Right, bunny hopping chains. How high scares you?
That's different. I wouldn't want a bunny hop chain.
18 inches.
That's
anything over that, you're in the like. If I have a sketchy bunny hop, 18 inches is bad.
We're getting.
If we're talking about airing a 3-foot quarter.
Right,
that thing 3 or 4 feet, no problem. More than that, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah.
A 6-foot quarter.
I'm talking personally. Personally, how high do you need to be in the air before you're nervous? With none of this crazy, complicated mess of explanation.
But all right, are we like if we're riding a 13-foot vert ramp?
I'm over
and it. You're hitting coping. You're 13 feet off the ground. If you fall, you're dying. But you're not airing over coping.
I'm over it. You're too complicated for me.
I'm just trying to promote the discussion.
No,
the way
you're making it
go.
way more complicated than it needs to be. I don't get nervous based on height unless something is wrong.
Well, I think that's what the point where I was going with this is. There's not a clean answer for that about height itself. It's all like context around it.
Nope, my answer is so simple. I don't care what I'm doing or where I'm at or what obstacle it is. I don't get nervous unless something is going wrong. Because I don't do things unless I know that I can do it. So chain height, throw it out of there, because I'm not going to hop over a chain that I don't know I can hop over. Don't matter. Rail hops, I don't do them because I don't think I can. So it literally just comes down to, if I'm 7 foot above a 6 foot quarter and something's going wrong, I'm nervous. If I'm airing it and it's all good, I want to go 8 foot.
Okay.
That's my answer, and it's simple.
Okay.
This is not the Imprimatur BMX podcast. I am not Mike Hinkins, despite my long flowing locks.
Yeah.
Now you can answer it however you want to.
No, I did though.
Oh, you did?
I think it's very, very contingent on the setup and spot and what you're doing.
Yeah. It's very true as well. Context matters.
You could ride a 20-foot vert wall and not be scared of it because you're 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Or you might be airing 4 feet out of a 3-foot tight tranny and be really off axis, like you're saying, and it could terrify you for a moment.
Yeah, I just have a mentality that I that I want to go as high as I possibly can. Possibly.
I'm not much for going fast and high.
Yeah. Sam the ham bone.
Oh, I already know what he's gonna say.
No.
He's gonna say Groundhog BMX low and slow for life.
Yeah, he said anything over a foot high flat ledge is scary to me. That's funny. Brody said he grew up riding mellow quarters, so he has trouble riding ramps that go vert. Yeah, it's definitely change. Literally, like, feels weird because there's that super steep quarter at Ray's.
Love that thing.
Yeah.
That thing feels super mellow to me compared to the stuff I had at the ice house.
Oh yeah.
Like when because we had the ice house and that got built like right around the same time. So we were riding the ice house and we saw those pictures of that and went out there and I was like, this thing's pretty mellow, and everyone's complaining about how tight it was. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys ever ride a 12-inch to vert quarter? Because I had one of those.
I don't know if I did.
I crank flip fakied it.
That's awesome. To flat?
It's 12-inch, so like front wheel up, crank flip, front wheel down, out fakie. I 3 fakied it and got front wheel, back wheel, front wheel.
Nice. Mason, pretty much all seats are the same thing. There's different materials and different designs. There's no or different thicknesses. It's not like any company makes unless they make a special specific one that's amazing. It's not like any company's seats are this high over some other companies.
I will make a point.
I'm gonna bang my head off the wall. Any
of the waterproof materials are a lot better. Yeah, they're slippery, but I don't know. I change my seat depending on the time of year because if my bike's gonna possibly be on the back of my car and maybe caught in snow or something, I don't want a moist seat.
Yeah, that's fair. Crocodile skin.
But I think my seat is Kevlar right now.
Ooh, bulletproof. Nice.
Sure.
So if you're gonna get,
I haven't tested it.
Well, if you're gonna get shot, make sure you got your bike.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna work out well.
Well, if you got your bike, there's a lot more there. Either way, it's now 12:22. So I'm not gonna get home until 3 a.m. There's 19 of you watching. Appreciate it, everybody. Andy's channel is in the description below.
Yeah, and I never remember how to shout this out. So your channel that everyone's already watching is at Brant Moore.
Oh yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Your Instagram is
the same
at Brant_Moore.
It's all exactly the same. YouTube and Instagram are the same.
Since I'm going to post this online too, that's why I shouted your stuff out quick.
Yeah.
But the GrindWorks stuff is at GrindWorks_BMX on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And it's at GrindWorks BMX without an underscore on Facebook, YouTube, Mixer, and I don't know, whatever.
I'm sure.
I kind of suck at that.
I'm sure there's links
TikTok.
to all of them.
I think there's a TikTok now. I mean, I created one.
You have one. I got a TikTok.
But I don't remember what it is.
Bro.
Yeah, we're
going to
be
brag
TikTok
for a minute.
friends.
No, I only follow one person on TikTok.
Okay. TikTok sucks, by the way.
I got 11.2k followers on TikTok. Alright.
Yeah, alright. So,
we need to go.
So I created it.
Yeah.
Just because we were... I was listening to a couple people talk about it, seeing some stuff on Twitter about it being, like, possibly the next thing. And I'm like, I at least want to lock down the tag.
Yeah.
So, locking down the tag, using it a little bit. There's way too many underage girls on there.
Oh, there is a lot
like,
of that.
That's all it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
There's also, like, a lot of cool, like, trade stuff. People do a lot of cool woodworking and whatnot on there.
Interesting.
Which I find that very interesting. I like looking at that stuff. But there's a lot of interaction and views and stuff on there.
Yeah.
But it's like probably less than 1% my demographic.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to put any effort into using it is pretty stupid.
You're right. That makes sense. Either way, when everything else dies and you end up on TikTok, I'll see you there.
Yeah, we already got those tags locked down, so we're like solid.
Yeah, till the next thing comes along. Alright, let's shut it down. Thank you guys all for hanging out. I'm gonna go home and sleep.
I'm gonna play video games on Mixer. Anyone wants to play games of bike on Pipe? I got a 4-person overlay. We can co-stream that, and we can all see what we're doing.
There it is. Can they get to that from the link to your channel?
Mixer.com/GrindWorksBMX.
Boom. If you want to do it, send it. If not, good night.
Xbox Party Chat is GrindWorksBMX, no underscore.
There's the info you need. We're going to get out of here. Thank you for watching this on Andy's, or the GrindWorks channel.
Yeah, I know it's branded GrindWorks up top the whole time through.
Yeah, well, thank you for watching this. If you're watching this on his, check my stuff out if you care. I need to go to bed. Good night.